Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check this out. Decoding central bank digital currencies. We're going to talk about who's involved from the recent report from Currency and Research from Lippis Advisors. You're going to love every single page. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on TikTok, on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook for exclusive content. It's $1.135 trillion market cap. We're creeping up a little bit. I'd say watch out for that USD tether rug pull any day now. If we're going to get a stable coin bill in September, the way Patrick McHenry is hopeful to do in Congress with Maxine Waters in September, October, I would think sometime between now and then, we're going to see USD Tether get called to carpet. Remember, they are registered with FinCEN, but they're not regulated, if that makes any sense to you. But that's where we are on this day. $1.135 trillion market cap for crypto. It is August 10th. 2022. Good afternoon, everybody. 23,900 plus right now, almost 24,000 for Bitcoin. Ethereum over $1,800 strong right now. XRP is 37 cents. We're up 0.5%. And on the 24-hour, we are up 4.32% on that. How about that? So make sure you take a look at that. I tell you, there, by the way, CoinPetrika has some really good metrics on their page. Not only can you look at your favorites list, which I absolutely love to do and I share with you guys, I'm going to be putting together some really special things here for all of us to go forward, and it's going to be great. But look at this. You can click on the return rates very quickly and see what the return rates are. 1 quarter return for Bitcoin off by 21+%, right? Coming down here, we see Quant has jumped up from last quarter, 73.92%. Come on in. Yeah, this is a great metric right here to look at the growth of how things are moving. And this is just me looking at the favorites list that I have set up here, right? So then you go to all-time highs. Now, I love this tab because this tab shows us the all-time high is off by 65% on Bitcoin, 62% for Ethereum, 90% for XRP. Oh, yes, not financial advice, but damn sure bullish on that spread that there's room to go up. That's for sure. Look, I tell you, all of this is really, really hugely positive. 92 for Gala. You know, I'm a big fan of that. Looks like Snoop is going to have a big role in that. You know, Snoop Dogg talked about putting the whole Death Row catalog on Gala. Yeah, that's hugely exciting to me, and many, many other things. So we will keep an eye on that, but for the price overview, you see where we are today. Look, let's get into this thing with XRP right now at 37 cents, ladies and gentlemen. That's where we are today. Very quickly here, look at this. Zimbabwe has been plagued by sporadic outbursts of hyperinflation, which is going on around the world, which has destroyed their local fiat currency. I feel terrible for the people there. So the Zimbabwean central bank has come up with the idea of minting and selling gold coins to act as a genuine store of value. Now, I don't find this shocking because, you know, it's God's money. And, you know, every time you run into trouble, you know you can revert back to gold. And that's what I love about gold pay, Glint Pay, excuse me, which is obviously, I'm so excited about it. Let me tell you something. I'm so excited about this because with the inflation that we're feeling here in the world, I can't go to my store or my favorite place to eat or shop and give them a gold coin. And that is unfortunate because gold is amazing. But I can do it with Glint Pay, baby. Hashtag GoldFi. That's what we're talking about. Check out the link underneath of this. You can get a debit card, attach it to your gold holdings, and you could hedge the inflation that is happening. I tell you, and I think the Zimbabwean people down there may want to consider that as well if it's available. Right here is Jim Rickards, none other than. He says, I'm in the gold room at Mount Washington Hotel in Bretton Woods. This is where the Bretton Woods agreements were signed. That's the original table and chairs unchanged since 1944. He says, we are close to a new system where gold again plays a role than most realize. You know, I agree with Jim here. And I tell you, that's one of the things that excites me about GlintPay. And this is not an endorsement, obviously, from Jim for GlintPay. Holding physical gold is something you can also do with GlintPay. You can take physical delivery of gold at a certain point as well. But I tell you, being able to spend it in this new world we're in on my debit card and know that I have an alternative to the banking system, oh, yeah, baby, that's all day long. Damn right. And shout out to Jim for going and sending the pictures to Bretton Woods, where the U.S. dollar became the global reserve currency. And then after 44, up into the 70s, they ditched the gold backing. And I think not too long from now, the world will have some form of gold commodities collectively backing this new digital era we're moving into. Now, this is a must-read thread, and I'm not going to go through the whole thing here, but I tell you, it goes through everything you need to know. The question remains, why has CNBC, Melissa Lee, Brian Knight, and Andrew Sorkin, and Joe Squawk, CNB Fast Money, why has mainstream media as a whole ignored the trial of a century when it comes to the SEC versus Ripple and over 70,000 XRP holders who have been harmed by the SEC? Thank goodness for John Deaton. Read this thread, ladies and gentlemen. It is straight fire. I'm telling you, John Deaton, he makes so many incredible points and comments underneath of this, as does DAI. You got to read this whole thing. We've got a lot to look at, but I tell you, something is very, very wrong about the fact that CNBC and mainstream media is deliberately ignoring the retail investors, all of us, that have been harmed by the SEC. John Deaton says here, well, crap, just when I was thinking maybe we've seen the bottom for Bitcoin, I see this, which likely means we haven't. And it's JP Morgan Bitcoin says Bitcoin has found a floor, which means JP Morgan more than likely is talking their book, which is saying the opposite of what's actually happening. And I agree with them. And again, I point to USD Tether possibly getting called to carpet, and that could have a huge downward negative effect on this crypto space before getting stablecoin legislation, which we desperately need on that side of the fence there. We'll keep an eye on it. The decision of Circle to follow U.S. government sanctions and blacklist Ethereum-based users of Tornado Cash sets a dangerous precedent for the entire crypto industry. The U.S. Treasury Department has imposed sanctions on Tornado Cash, which says it protects users' privacy. Now, listen, I want to make this point very clear, and I had a conversation, and I hope the gentleman tells me I can say his name later, but I had a conversation with a really bright person out here in this community, and I do not mind telling you that I think he makes a good point, and I've certainly made the point that what happens if you get out here in altcoin land in some really, really kind of small altcoin world, and the only way in and out is USD Tether, and then all of a sudden that gets rug pulled the way these Ethereum addresses have been blacklisted here in Tornado Cash itself. How you getting out? You know, this is a key point to watch, ladies and gentlemen. This is open, permissionless protocols, as they say. And I tell you, in the world of decentralization, do not be fooled. They can regulate you or tax you out of existence if they want to. Now, let's look at this. Iran has placed its first official import order using cryptocurrency worth $10 million, according to a government official. They say by the end of September, 1 month from now, month and a half, the use of crypto and smart contracts will be widespread in foreign trade with target countries, the official said. Things are moving much quicker than we realize, and you're about to see all the evidence that you could want to see in this right here from Currency and Research of Lippis Advisors, published Decoding CBDCs, ladies and gentlemen. Shout out to Wrath of Common for this. It is straight fire. More than a dozen central banks are currently working with Ripple, and you're going to see all of this. Ripple, Hedera, Prosper US, or Prosper Us, right? Let me tell you, you're going to love every single bit of this. Let me go to page 6 first because it's all fire. Ripple is the leader. This is page 3. Ripple is the leader in enterprise blockchain technology, of offering a comprehensive platform for minting, managing, transacting, and redeeming central bank digital currencies. Ripple is currently engaging globally with central banks on projects, and CBDC projects include the Royal Monetary Authority of Bhutan, which we knew, Republic of Palau, which we knew, right? With Ripple CBDC's private ledger, central banks can manage the CBDC lifestyle, offering these benefits: stability, security, resilience, easy access, financial inclusion, interoperability with disparate payment systems, and overall services, low energy consumption to promote sustainability. Each CBDC solution is built on a private ledger that is based on the XRP ledger technology and proven blockchain that has transacted over 70 million times over the course of 10 years and is trusted by financial institutions around the world. Now, let's get to here because I want to show you this and I'm excited and I know you are too. I want you to see it. Let's go through this because we need to go through it. All right, now here it is. All right, so defining central bank digital currency provider landscape. All right, I'm going to jump through a few of these spots here. And right here it says it's helpful to first define the types of players active in the market of CBDC technology and the roles they take on. And it can be difficult to understand who is doing what in which areas. And that is for certain. Some of the most experienced include R3, whose Corda network has been involved in several different successful CBDC pilots and proof of concepts globally, as well as BITT, it says, which has been the primary technology partner and solution provider to live CBDC implementations. Ripple is currently engaged globally with more than a dozen central banks, with pilots underway in Palau and Bhutan. So there's only 2 that we know of right there. There is a dozen or more now. I tell you, that is exciting, ladies and gentlemen. Looking at the landscape holistically, the types of markets and players fall into 4 groups summarized below. And one is transaction networks and infrastructure. The other is end-to-end solution providers. And the other is technology partners and research partners. Now, I want to show you here, it says this refers to in the first section or the 4 parts or 4 roles, 4 groups. It says specific infrastructure on network that is used for CBDC ledger, although the core ledger needed to be DLT based for CBDC exploration globally, have involved the use of DLT based networks. Examples include Algorand, Ethereum, Hedera Hashgraph, Hyperledger Besu, Fabric, and IRA, I guess, and R3's Corda platform, GroundX's Clayton and Prosper Ledger, Ripple CBDC's private ledger, and the Stellar Network. And remember, we just reported James Wallace talking about putting nodes and having cloud-based Amazon Web Services for the private ledger and central banks. It's reconfirmed right here. Cloud providers may also emerge the space as CBDC infrastructure providers with Amazon Web Services, for example. So that is confirmed even further. We see here it says such players offer full stack infrastructure solutions covering all aspects of central bank digital currency needs. And it says here core ledger, issuance, business application, front end software. It says some providers have tailored their solutions specifically towards central banks. It said notes BIT, EM Tech, and G+D. It says here, while others with broader range of players on digital cash and stablecoin issuance, it cites EM Tech and in Consensus, Prosper US or Prosper Us, and Ripple. And it says here the landscape, which I think that's important because it says while others with a broader range of players on digital cash and stablecoin issuance, it cites Ripple. And I think that's key right there because we know CBDCs and stablecoins will be the native tokens on the XRP ledger as well any other token. XRP will be the complement to help settle when necessary. That's the important part here, right? So we'll remember that. And then I want to point out here, it says in this, this section here, many central banks have opted to hire vendors acting as third-party consultancy or technical partners responsible for driving the entire development process. It says here, from conception to platform design to testing and go live. Examples include Accenture, which gave the green light for Ripple to the financial industry. Remember Diana Adachi in the interview I had with her? Right? That's important to note. Now let's get on to the next one, which is this diagram right here, everybody. Right? Technical challenges associated with central bank digital currency issuance. For example, MIT's Digital Currency Initiative has worked with the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston for several years and has recently formed partnerships with the Bank of Canada and Bank of England, which also have a partnership with Ripple, right? And we see right here, Digital Currency Initiative, BIS, etc., IBM, DXC, Bearing Point, EM Tech, Bit, Ripple, Prosper Us, and then eCurrency, Algorand, AWS, Quarter, Hyperledger, Hedera, Stellar. I tell you what I feel good about. Everything mentioned here in the technical token world here, I hold a position in, and I'm excited about that. And based on this and what I already know, I'm always trying to deepen my position, not financial advice. But that is extremely exciting to find this information here. It goes on to say down in here, obviously, examples of such networks and platforms include, when talking about comparing distributed ledger-based infrastructures in a CBDC context, it talks about this. Platforms include Algorand, Hedera Hashgraph, Hyperledger, BestU, Fabric, R3's Quarter Protocol, Ripple's CBDC Private Ledger, ladies and gentlemen. Do we not love hearing this, or do we not love hearing this? I tell you, we love hearing this is what the answer is, right? We absolutely love seeing and hearing all of this. And going right here, comparison of select DLT networks available for use in central bank digital currencies pilots and implementations. You could say here, type of infrastructure. It goes right here, side chain of public XRP ledger. Now I want to show you this because this gentleman right here makes a great point here. Federated side chains could be the infrastructure for CBDCs, ladies and gentlemen. What if XRP isn't the chosen coin, but can be interoperable in the new CBDC system? Well, that's exactly, Jeremiah, what James Wallace described that I've reported on here many, many times. The native token is the CBDCs and stable coins and other coins. XRP is the chosen token, but it's only where needed, right? So you can see right here, if it's not needed, it won't be used. And that's the way it should be. The vision is that each side chain would function as its own blockchain. They'd have their own ledger and transactions, just as XRP Ledger does. What it makes them side chains is federated system. It says, which allows XRP and issued tokens to move from one chain to another. Federated side chains could use XRP as their primary asset. In that case, people could use the federation system to move XRP from the XRP ledger to the side chain. Then the moved XRP could be used on the side chain just as it is on the main chain. Anyone can move XRP from either chain to the other. I think this is dead on the mark compared to what we see here, side chain of public XRP ledger, right? Access, private permission, because they're talking about the private ledger for CBDC. Scalability, 10,000 plus transactions, ladies and gentlemen. The only one comes close to that is Hedera and Stellar, reaching 10,000 transactions per second. And looking down here, unique selling proposition in enterprise grade with product production experience and carbon neutral, ladies and gentlemen. Write that down because that's where the world's going. Notable partnerships, it says Bhutan and Palau, but we know from this report, it's more than a dozen, ladies and gentlemen. And that's what's going on in this day. I tell you, this is extremely, extremely exciting information from this report that is showing all of us there's a lot going on here that we do not get to be made privy of. And I understand why, and I'm sure you do too, but this is nice to see. Bit EM Tech claimed to be able to integrate with any centralized ledger or blockchain network, for example, while other providers like Prosper Us and Ripple leverage their own infrastructure layer. Moreover, although most providers indicate that they provide some level of support for offline payments. Now, getting into that, we know that Ripple certainly does. Ripple can do offline. You better damn sight know it. And it says right here, comparison to full stack CBDC infrastructure solutions. It says Ripple CBDC platform vendor is Ripple, and it's a distributed ledger technology, as we all know. Coming here to page 10, this diagram really just shows here distributed ledger networks that can currently be used with the solution permission side chain of XRP Ledger, really pointing to what we just showed you. ISO 20022 interoperability. Every one of them have it, which tells you it will be key in the language to be able to integrate as well with the settlement of digital assets. I don't care what we say. That's why we use it as shorthand as ISO 20022 tokens, which is not really a thing, but you see why it really is, right? Programmable payments, all of them have it. Offline payment support, all of them have it, and certainly Ripple does, right? Mobile wallet support, we see Ripple's got it as well. POS support, they got it. Testing sandbox, they're all in it. Partnership countries, we know who they are, right? This is what is happening, ladies and gentlemen, and I couldn't be more excited about it, and I know that you are too. When it comes to decoding the central bank digital currencies, Ripple and Stellar are smack dab in the middle of this thing, and so is Hedera Hashgraph and all the others that we mentioned as well. I couldn't be more excited about where this is going. And at the end of the day, you see here the list of CBDC solution and infrastructure providers, all that have been mentioned in this article, as well as consensus. Can't write that off, but will they be able to survive with what they've developed compared to the technology out here of others? So exciting to watch what is taking place and what is going on here, ladies and gentlemen. I tell you this, I couldn't be more excited about where we're going. You can see R3 partners here in Kazakhstan, Sweden, various BIS projects, Dunbar, Helvetia, Eura, and we know Ripple, obviously Bhutan and Palau, and over a dozen more. And we know Stellar is working with a central bank out of Ukraine as well. This is exciting. That is it, ladies and gentlemen. If I'm decoding CBDCs, Ripple's coming up as one of the answers. Not financial advice for me or anyone else. That's where we are on this day. I'll catch all of you on the next one.